In the village, every adult girl was sent into a cave to marry the god, but strangely, each girl had to be inspected by the elders and blindfolded before entering the cave. Yet very few ever returned with a child from the god, and even those who did rarely survived more than half a year. So on the day the god chose a wife, families with daughters would flee the village, but one girl volunteered to serve as a handmaiden. The village chief refused her without hesitation, since her sister had already been sent to the cave the year before, and by tradition it wasn't her turn. But since no one else volunteered that year, the chief reluctantly agreed. He then assigned the girl's stepmother, who had once served the god herself 20 years ago, to teach her the rules of caring for the god. Before she could become the god's bride, her stepmother had to check her body to confirm her purity. But when she came to examine her, she found a pile of strange books by the bed. The girl quickly explained. They were about how to increase fertility, because no one had ever survived giving birth to the god's child. She had to find a way to improve her chances. The stepmother was moved, and carefully instructed her on every rule for the wedding night, emphasizing that any mistake could be fatal. After the inspection, the stepmother confirmed the girl was fit. The next morning, the girl arrived at the shrine in plain clothes. Her beauty stunned the elders. The chief immediately ordered her to change into a red wedding dress, but she froze in place, unable to change in front of everyone. Her stepmother coldly reminded her that becoming the god's bride required public inspection. With no choice, the girl let her stepmother dress her. The bridal party then began the climb up the mountain, and because of the steep terrain, they had to go on foot. The girl was filled with suspicion, so she pretended to fall, scraping her palm and leaving a trail of blood to guide anyone who might come to rescue her. At the cave entrance, the chief warned her to obey the god's every command, or the whole village would suffer. The girl nodded, then entered the cave alone while everyone knelt outside. Inside, she was shocked by the cold air, but determined to uncover the truth. She lifted her blindfold. What she saw was not a fearsome god, but a handsome man. Following her stepmother's instructions, she knelt and offered to share the wedding bed, but the man gave no response. She remembered her stepmother's warning that she had to undress and seduce the god, so she began. Just as she was about to awaken him, she heard a strange noise behind a stone door. Sensing it might hold her sister's secret, she crept over and lifted the man's mask, but was suddenly knocked out by a puff of smoke. As the man looked at her face, he realized she was the younger sister of his fiancée. From the moment he first saw her, he had been drawn to her. Now that both sisters had fallen into his hands, he had no intention of letting go. Soon the girl woke up, and was startled to find cameras inside the cave. She grew suspicious, and questioned the man's identity. He claimed he had been knocked out and thrown into the cave, but when she spotted the tattoo on his arm, she realized he was connected to the village chief. The man also noticed the red string on her wrist. Realizing her true intent, he shoved her away, but she was prepared. Pulling out a knife, she demanded to know where her sister was. The man sneered, claiming he had killed all the girls and buried them under the old tree. The girl recalled how her sister was taken to the cave just before her wedding, how she begged to go instead, but was refused. Their father tried to stop it, but was beaten to death by villagers. She had sworn to save her sister, and followed them to the cave, but before she could see what was inside, she had been kicked out. Now she recognized the man's voice.